Om Namo Narayana. Welcome back, everybody. Today we are reading chapters 117 and 118 in Book 2 of the Ramayana. And if you watched the last video, you will know that that video and this one were recorded a long time ago, but didn't come out because they were done on a rainy day, and I didn't realize how bad the rain was. So I am re-recording these, which I sometimes do long after the fact. Thus my hair is different and everything else is different. So please excuse this little bump in the road right here at the end of the Ramayana. That explains why I'm using my normal live show headset and any other questions you may have, because time has gone forward. I know what the future looks like. Actually, no. By the time you see this, matter of fact, this will be in the past. But it's the future for the videos. I don't know. Wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. Okay, chapter 117 is called Rama Visits Sage Athri. After the sages left that place, Rama started thinking, and due to very many reasons, he did not like to live in that place. He said, "It is here that Bharata, my mother's, and the citizens met me, and that memory is chasing me and filling me with grief. Since the great Bharata encamped with his army here, this place has been made exceedingly dirty with the dung of horses and elephants." Having resolved that he would go someplace else, Rama, along with Lakshmana and Sita, set forth from there. After that very famous Rama reached the hermitage of sage Athri, he prostrated himself before the sage, who received him like a son. That sage, after showing great hospitality on Rama in a fitting way, spoke with kind words to Lakshmana and Sita. That sage, who was wise, earnest, and did good to all beings, called out to his aged wife, who had just come there, and who was revered by all, and spoke kind words to her. That sage told his highly virtuous ascetic wife, Anasuya, who followed principles of Dharma, "Please honor this Sita." And thereafter he told Rama about his wife. He said, "O blameless one, once this world was affected by constant drought for 10 years. It was Anasuya, my wife, who created roots and fruits, as well as filled up the river Ganga with water. She is the follower of great penance, and one decorated by self-imposed religious observances. For 10,000 years she practiced rigorous penance, and my son, she removed all the obstacles, and for modifying the divine command, converted 10 nights into 1. And this Anasuya, who has just taken a bath after a penance, is like a mother to you. This aged and famous lady is worthy of worship of all beings, and is known as the one who does not get jealous. Let Sita approach and talk to her." Hearing the words of the sage, Rama said, "So be it. O Sita, you have now heard the message of the sage, so without delay please meet that lady sage for the sake of your welfare." Hearing the words of Rama, which were aimed at her welfare, Sita approached Anasuya, who was the wife of Athri and an expert in drama, and went round her. The great and virtuous Anasuya was feeble, full of wrinkles, with grey hair, being very old, with body trembling always, and shaking like a banana plant in the wind. And Sita went and without haste saluted her, and introduced herself by saying her name. Sita saluted that blameless ascetic, and saluting her with folded hands, and with happiness, inquired about her welfare. That lady sage, seeing the glorious Sita, talking sweet and pleasing words, said, "Fortunately, you are observing your Dharma. Oh, pretty Sita, thank heaven you are accompanying Rama, who has left his relations, pride, wealth, and is banished, living in the forest. Any lady who is devoted to her dead husband, whether he is in town or in forest, or he is a sinner, or one who does blessed deeds, she is the greatest gift to the world. For a lady of noble nature, her husband is her god, whether he is of bad character, passionate by nature, or devoid of any riches. Oh, Sita, thinking about everything after performing imperishable and suitable penances, I still do not see a better relation than one's husband. These evil women who are overpowered by carnal desires and who lord over their husbands do not have any understanding of virtue and vice in this world. Oh, Sita, such women who are in the grip of unworthy acts would reach infamy as well as destruction of Dharma. But those who are endowed with virtues like you and can find the difference between good and bad would go to heaven like those who perform dharmic deeds. Thus ends chapter 117. Chapter 118 is called Sita Talks to Anasuya. When Anasuya spoke like this, Sita, without any jealousy, started slowly telling her words full of reverence. It is a wonder that a great lady like you should talk to me this way, for I also know that a husband is a guru to every lady. Even if my husband leaves good conduct, even then I should obey him without any distinction. What is the necessity to applaud a husband who is kind, who has controlled his senses, is always loving, a soul of Dharma, and one who respects his father and mother? The very strong Rama behaves with other consorts of the king in the same way that he behaves with his mother Kausalya. That follower of Dharma who loved the king is valorous and honors all women. The wise instructions taught to me by my mother-in-law when I was coming to this fearful forest bereft of human beings are still firmly etched in my mind. The words taught to me earlier by my mother at the time of my marriage, in front of the sacrificial fire, are also still etched in my mind. O great lady who practices Dharma, your words reminded me again of the advice given by my mother and my mother-in-law, that for a woman the only Dharma that exists is obedience to her husband. Savitri went to heaven by doing service to her husband, and since following her path you are also doing service to your husband, and you will also surely go to heaven. Rohini, the best among all ladies and the goddess of the sky, is not seen without the moon, even for a second. Great ladies like these who are doing firm penance on their husbands by their own blessed deeds are highly respected in the world of the gods. Then Anasuya, glad at hearing these words of Sita, kissed her on the forehead and said the following with a view to please her. O Sita of pure penances, by performing various austerities, I have obtained a great power of penance, and using the strength of the effect of such penances, I would make you happy. Your words are befitting you and please my mind, and so you please tell me what I can do for you. Hearing those words, Sita was surprised, and with a slow-to-grow smile she said, "It is okay." When this was told by the lady who was an expert in Dharma, she was greatly pleased and said, "I would bring great joy to you, which would give good results. Oh, Sita, I am giving you the blessed garland, cloth, a garland, fragrant creams, and ointments for the body, and these would always beautify your limbs, and they are convenient to use and never fade. Wear this fragrant cream on your body like Lakshmi, who enhanced the greatness of Vishnu and will enhance the greatness of your husband." Sita accepted the cloth, the fragrant creams, the ointment, as well as the garlands, which were incomparable gifts of love. Sita accepted those gifts of love, saluted the old woman, who was rich in penance, with hands folded like a dish, and sat beside her. With Sita sitting near her, Anasuya, who did firm penance, started asking her about a tale which was close to her heart. "Oh, Sita, I have heard that the famous Rama got you by self-selection, and that is the story that reached my ears some time ago. I would like to know this story in detail. It would be great if you could tell this in an extensive manner." When the old lady spoke like this, Sita said, "I will relate that story in detail, so let it be heard. Janaka, the follower of Dharma, was the king of Mithila, well versed in king's Dharma and engaged in ruling the earth properly. When one day he was plowing a circular land for conducting a sacrifice, it seems I arose there, breaking the earth, and became the daughter of the king. King Janaka, who was busy scattering a handful of seeds, was surprised to see me completely covered with dust. That childish king took me and kept me on his lap and told me that I was his daughter and showed me great affection. A voice was heard from space, and it said, 'O king, without any doubt, this divine child is indeed your daughter.' Then my father, who was a soul of Dharma, was very happy, and that king acquired a large number of properties for me. That king entrusted me to his chief queen, who was his favorite, and she looked after me with great care, with dear maternal affection. When my father realized that the proper time had come to unite me with a husband, my father became sad, like a poor man who is about to lose his wealth. Even though the father of an unmarried girl is like Indra, he will be treated inferior by other men and humiliated. The king, realizing that his humiliation would begin soon, reached the sea of sorrow and felt like a man without a float and unable to reach the other shore. Knowing that I was not born from a woman's womb, in spite of thinking it over, he could not find a similar and suitable husband for me. By always thinking about this, a thought occurred to perform the Swayamvara, the self-selection ceremony, for me. The great Varuna, during one of the sacrifices, had given him with love an excellent bow, 2 great arrows, and a quiver. Due to its weight, no human could lift it in spite of great effort, nor were the kings able to bend it even in their dreams. My father, who was only speaking truth, had earlier invited several kings in his assembly and placed the great bow before them. And he said to them, "Without any doubt, my daughter would become the wife of any person who can lift this bow along with its string." The kings saw that great bow, which was very heavy like a mountain, and they were not able to lift it, and so they saluted the bow and went back. After a very long time, Rama, with great luster, came to see the fire sacrifice along with Viswamitra and Lakshmana. All of them were truly men of valor. The sage Viswamitra was the soul of Dharma, and after being worshipped by my father, spoke about Rama and Lakshmana to him. Viswamitra said, "These 2 sons of Dasartha are desirous of seeing the bow, and so show the bow attained from the Devas to the king's son Rama." As this was told by the Brahmin, that bow was brought out, and within a minute the very strong one bent that bow and instantly struck the string and drew it. When he was stretching it, the bow broke in 2, and making a very great sound, fell down on the floor. Then my father, who was wedded to the truth, decided to give me to Rama and raise the vessel containing pure water. Though I was being offered, Rama did not accept that offer, without knowing the opinion of his father, who was the king of Ayodhya. Then my father invited my future father-in-law, the very aged King Dasartha, and thus I was offered to Rama, who was well known for his intelligence. My father also offered of his own accord my chaste young sister, Urmila, who has a pleasing appearance, to be the wife of Lakshmana. This is the way which I was offered to Rama in the self-selection, and I love my husband, the valiant Rama, in accordance with Dharma. And thus ends chapter 118. Now, yep, you know what I'm going to say. I'm not even going to go into it, because it's just, I can't. Chapter 117. A woman should bow down to her husband and see him as a god, whether he is a saint or a sinner. Yeah, no, that doesn't work in our modern society. I truly believe that Sanatana Dharma has some negative things to say about women. It does not free them up, but it actually subjects them. It puts them in an inferior role, which we have grown past. 2,000 years ago, I could understand this would give her protection, whatever, and getting a divorce was bad. But now we have changed all this. If I said to women, yeah, you should look at your husband, and if he beats you, it's okay, it's a god. If he has no money, if he's a thief, if he's Al Capone, if he's Jim Jones, if he's Hitler, it doesn't matter. Look at him like a god. Yeah, no, that's not going to go over so well. It is time for a revolution for women's rights in Sanatana Dharma. And anyone can say to me, oh, well, yes, but, Sanatana Dharma like this. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It says right here. It says right here in this book, for a lady of noble nature, her husband is her god, whether he is of bad character, passionate by nature, or devoid of any riches. Passionate by nature, meaning he might, rape her, or maybe he has affairs. Doesn't matter. She's supposed to see him as his god. It says it right here. The irony is that a line later from that is that, let's see, where was it? A woman should find the difference between good and bad. But yet she's supposed to ignore that difference when it comes to her husband. You can question all day long what this says, but there it is. We may say the translation's not right, and I would argue that maybe it's not. But clearly there is something here that subjugates women. And maybe elsewhere they're treated equally, but for a woman to look on her husband as a god is clear subjugation of decades of her life. So this is one of the things that I harp on a lot, and that is the nature of women in this religion needs to be changed, needs to reflect the society we are in. I understand if women go, whoa, yeah, I got it. And I've actually heard from other guys in the Swaminaryan sect who say the same thing as I'm saying right now. They try to draw women in, and then they say to the women, here's the Shikshapatri, and the women are like, yeah. No, thank you. You could say that this is the words of God and they're immutable, but I don't think God wants women to be subjugated. Because if he did, why would he allow women to then become free? And you can argue, well, that's what Satan did. But remember, according to a million episodes I've done, there's no Satan in Hinduism. So you can't blame it on a Satan. Why would God allow women to be free if God doesn't want women to be anything but subjugated? Now, you could say, well, he doesn't want to be subjugated, so in which case women in Afghanistan are closer to the acts of God than anyone else, even those in Sanatana Dharma? Really? The women in Afghanistan who can't leave the house are closer. That's kind of the argument that you'd have to make. I don't think anyone's going to make that argument. Yeah, so issues here with this. I think we have problems with this. I don't think this works in the modern day. There may be a translation issue, but I just have very strong feelings about this. And as soon as you heard me read it, you knew I was probably going to mention this. Okay, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. We're going to end this video for today. I'm going to say thank you so much. We're nearly at the end of the Ramayana. It's one more video before us. That's it. And we're done with book 2. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Feel free to comment down below, whether you're watching this on YouTube or BitChute. And until next time, Jai Shri Krishna.